all the videos, inshallah, will be uploaded in that particular video. We're going to open the line, by the way, during this this program. It's not going to be on the sticker. You can call to send your dua or give your ziyarah to everyone, inshallah, at the Magal of Guimbind, inshallah. Speaking of Guimbind and Mbacke Kadior, of course, we cannot but recall the story or the history of that particular village sitting in Kadior region. Kadior now is part of Thiès region, but there was a province, inshallah, during for many centuries here in Senegal. Mbacke Kadior also is known because the presence of this particular son of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, meaning Sheikh Mohamedul Amin Mbacke, better known as Serigne Bara. A challenge I gave to his family for a long time, where comes the word Bara, but I haven't get an answer yet. Other people told me because like when they do zikr of certain names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like Sayyid Mukhtar of Darul Muhti, who used to do Ya Qafar, and people start calling him Ya Qafar. Well, it's kind of a distorted in a way, but how Wolof people are, that's part of their their behaviors or understanding of many things. So people say also Serigne Bara used to do the wird of Ya Barru, and some people say that's where the name Bara comes from. So a challenge again, asking his family where the name Bara comes from. He was very particular in a sense because he lived a kind of a short life. He was about 45 when he passed away. Serigne Bara was born in 1991, just before, a little time before the Sheikh actually went on exile, because the Sheikh went on exile in 1895. So just 4 years after he was born. So also one thing that strikes who wants to know about the life of Serigne Bara, his mother died very early. If you heard of Sokhna Aminata Lo, she was so particular, someone who really did a lot for Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. And this anecdote was like Sheikh Al-Khadim, one day he called his family and told everyone, he's like very close family, that Allah said that one of us has to go on the other side, have to pass away. And Sheikh Sokhna Aminata Lo volunteered and told the Sheikh, if this has to happen, I will take your place, the position. I'm ready to go. And that's how she passed away. When she left, she had Serigne Muhammadul Mustafa, the older son of Serigne Touba, and Serigne Bara. And also there was Sokhna Awa Bousso, who is the mother of Serigne Fallou. So Serigne Touba ordered Sokhna Awa Bousso to suckle Serigne Bara Mbacke. At the same time, Sokhna Awa Bousso has a daughter, and she suckled both sons of Sokhna Aminata Lo, but also her own daughter. That was Sokhna Awa Bousso, mother of Serigne Fallou. We're going to come back to the relationship of Serigne Bara and Serigne Fallou. And afterward, when the Sheikh passed away, even before that, we should mention that when she was born, like I said, in that particular compound of Serigne Touba, which is where the mosque is sitting right now. That was the first house of Sheikh Al-Khadim, where Serigne Bara was born. It is a miracle after that birth, because Serigne Touba happened to call on that day, as he used to travel away from people, leaving Mbacke Kadior, we're talking about, going to Mbacke, and then from Mbacke to Darussalam, and Darussalam to Touba. So, and the reason why, one of the reasons, because Serigne Touba is Serigne Touba, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, one of the reasons is having these people with a very special training, and that training was very hard, and he used to even encourage a lot of people and tell them, listen, when I give you people to train, sometimes I ask people to give a hard training way to their disciples, but if their disciple lack certain type of courages, they just go along with them. So Touba did refute actually that behavior to certain shuyukh. He told them, listen, follow the hard way if you want to reach your goal as soon as possible. So he used to travel from place to place in order to get away first from the dunyawi situation, getting away from, a lot of things that can constitute an hurdle to the goal he set by himself. So the reason why he moved first, like I said, to Mbacké, then Darussalam, and later on the Sheikh settled in Touba. And in Touba, Sheikh Muhammadul Lamin Bara was born in 1891. When he came, Serigne Touba called most of the disciples he was training and tell them, you guys should be happy, enjoy the day, because this newborn came with a very great news for you guys, because this is that day you have the satisfaction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet and myself, of course. And he had called them and asked them whatever you guys want. Some of them, like Muhammad Lamin Diop, actually Sëñ Massamba Diop Cham, Mam Cheikh Ibrahima Fall, and many others, that they were called by Serigne Touba, and they kind of renewed their pledge and gave like an answer to the question of Serigne Touba, meaning what is it, what is it you want in your life. Certain disciples told them, well, I want to be very smart. I want to be someone that use his mind anytime actions presents in front of him. Others chose to said, well, I want to go to paradise, for instance, something like every Muslim wants. But if you recollect what Mam Cheikh Ibrahima Fall said, it is resounding today in history, in the books, and everybody's know about that story, the sayings of Mam Cheikh Ibrahima Fall, who told the Serigne Touba, what I like is to love you more every new day, every single day, to have to see my love to you really goes up. And he sent him afterward to St. Louis, and the story goes by. Sheikh Muhammad Lamin Bara, 4 years later, was when the Sheikh went to exile, like I said. And for the Quran, the Sheikh started for him to learn the Quran, as many of his sons and daughter. He's the one who started the first, Alif Lam Mim things, or Ba Sin Mimara, or whatever you should call them, and then gave him to his father also, Sheikh Mam Thierno Birahim Mbacké. Mam Thierno Birahim was the second right-handed man of Serigne Touba. Serigne Touba gave beautiful testimonies about the righteousness of Mam Thierno Birahim. He gave him a letter saying that we never had a problem, like a different type of relationship that is not correct since he was very young, early age, until today. So Mam Thierno was like really someone that means a lot to Serigne Touba. And he was, in charge of the education of Sheikh Muhammad Lamin Bara when Serigne Touba went on exile, along with Serigne Fallou and also their older brother Serigne Modou Mustafa. There's also an anecdote to give you, to bring your attention in that situation, because when the Sheikh went on exile, there was this epidemic in Africa. Whoever knows about the history of Africa understand that epidemic situation. And Mam Thierno, who Serigne Touba had a lot of trust, and who Serigne Touba gave the disciples, everyone, to Mam Thierno before he left. There's still people saying that when he left, he gave the disciple to Mam Thierno, but when he came back, he took the disciple back. So we all are disciples of Borom Daaru Muxti, Sheikh Mam Thierno Birahim. So what happened was, when the Sheikh was living, he told Mam Cherno one very important thing. It's hard with colonials to live with them because they're gonna hit you hard. They got the Sheikh in exile first, and because the Sheikh has this new level of new mindset in the community, that they didn't want that. They didn't want people to think differently. They just want to slave them, to be enslaved, and just live by the rules set by Europeans. And Serigne Touba, in a very short time, trained the disciples to be resilient, to have only one Lord, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and follow the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the Quran, but from his own writing, not from rules set by European who mushriks at that time. Innal mushrikina najzun, what Serigne Touba used to say. So Mam Cherno, and he told them, when you live in a place like they were in Darul Manan before the Sheikh, when the Sheikh was living in, left Mbacké Jolof. But he told them, anytime you see a place where you can go and make it a sanctuary, where you can preserve your Islam, you can preserve your Taliban-ness, or your disciplehood situation, just go down there and settle there. So the Sheikh Mam Cherno settled in what is called Guyungura. Guyungura, right now, if you familiar with Touba, it's just by the entrance of Darul Manan. So when he settled in Guyungura, that's during the time when the epidemic hit Africa, hit Senegal as well. So most of the sons of Serigne Touba and his family were sick. They were also they had this plague, and one day Mam Cherno, couldn't hold it anymore. He got out, sat, and asked Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, Serigne Touba had trust on me. Please don't take away the sons of Serigne Touba. I'm not sure, because there's one son of Serigne Touba called Serigne Dali Mbacké. I'm not sure if he passed away during that time, but a lot of people, it's more likely that he, if not that same time, but he passed away when Mam Cherno was in charge of the kids. So he said, Allah, I have my own kids, meaning Serigne Modou Awa Balla and Serigne Cheikh Awa Balla Mbacké. If you want to take the kids of Serigne Touba, who have trust on me, please take my own kids. Don't take these kids. So he used to cry like absolutely crazy, because he wanted these children of Serigne Touba to be safe. So Mam Cherno really, if you recollect what his contributions to in raising, educating the children of Serigne Touba, he's no match. He's just some unbelievable what he did for Sheikh Ahmadul Khadim. And also when the Sheikh came back from exile, again, if you just follow us, Echo from Touba today, I'm Falugay, by the way, your host of this program, and we celebrating Mbacké Kadior with today what do you call him again, Serigne Bara Mbacké. One of his nickname also is the Lion. Many of his, if you go around his family, you'll see a portrait of a lion that is kind of a drawn in by the door of the family of Guybind, because of Sheikh Muhammadul Amin Bara, who happened to be again the younger brother of Sheikh Mustafa. Salam also to the Caliph of Darul Khudus, Serigne Ahmadou Mbacké. If you want to be part of the program, also you can call and send your ziyarah again to the Caliph, to all the pilgrims heading to Guybind, or celebrating wherever they can this beautiful day, the 28th of Jumada al-Awwal, the day Sheikh Muhammadul Amin Bara Mbacké was actually born. So when the Sheikh came back from exile, and as you know, he stayed in the country for about, I believe, 7 months. Because when he came back, people were like crazy. They see the amount of people flocking by the door of the Sheikh, coming to do their pledge. Because it was unimaginable for them to hear or to witness someone taken by the French away and brought back to Senegal alive. That was something, that is just couldn't be. It was a miracle for them. Because when you hear about Samori Touré, for instance, or the French guy Dreyfus, who was also sent in that area, and many you can recollect, they died when they were in exile, but they couldn't understand the Sheikh. Went in exile for 7 years, and what is mind-boggling in that procedure is whatever the Sheikh happened to the Sheikh before it was written by the Sheikh. Like if you know the book or the Qasida, Asiru ma'al abrar ina athiru wa dhanna al-hida anni unaka athiru. I'm on my way to exile walking. These people think that I'm walking with them, but I'm walking with Ahlu Badrin. And this was written during the exile when he was heading to Gabon. When he went to St. Louis, which was the capital, of course, where you got to go and do the paper things, sign papers or whatever, and then they will take you back to Dakar. But when he was going there, he wrote this particular book of what you call him again, Asiru Mal Abrar, and gave it to someone called Ahmadou Ndiaye Mabey. His family can witness, can give their testimony on that. And Saint Touba told them, this is half of the Qasida, or the beginning of this Qasida. I will be back and complete this beautiful Qasida called Asiru Mal Abrar, Sheikh al-Khadim. And also many other books he wrote, like Isa Minillah and the Jeweli, and he said in that, that beautiful Qasida, he's the head, he's going to work for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allamani Rahmanu fi safina bi annani ghadim dhil Madina. I was informed inside that safina, meaning that boat, that I'm heading to work for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when he came back, people just went in some Sanusi, for instance, another place where Sheikh Muhammad Lamin Bara lived, and then from there to Darumanan, there was also this beautiful feast or beautiful day organized by Imam Sheikh Anta Mbake in Darussalam. And when they saw, of course, all these the population really being completely shaken by the return of exile of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, they had another plan. And also there was a lot of complaint in the country. The kings were saying, well, our people are leaving to go. They used to say, I'm going in, mangi dem ci Bambaji. I'm going to the Bamba's call, mangi dem ci Bambaji. So when they had problem with the kings, of course, because when kind of gave some negative information about Serigne Touba, to the colonials, along also with people or shuyukh who never had just like today, people calling to Allah, and they don't have the authority, even the knowledge or the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people were just in there for money. It happens. Like in every turuq have that. Every single tariqah has those people who infiltrated these turuq for money. All they want is loot, like they said. They want just have the people send them get money and stuff like that. So it is not really part of the story or the teaching of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. You got to be orderized. So Alhamdulillah, after all that, and the Sheikh. Those guys, shuyukh, who just again also went to the colonials and tell them, listen, he's taking our disciples, and as you know, we're cooperating with you guys, so you have to help them. All these complaints kept coming, and of course the Sheikh was taken again to Mauritania. And when he was going to Mauritania, he said, I have another plan. Allah has another plan for me. I have to go to Mauritania and get that light that Allah put over there for a long time, reserved for me, and that light is the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Saint Touba used to call those people of Mauritania Ardus Salihin. And when he went to Mauritania, and he loved the Quran so much, that's unbelievable, Saint Touba. And he said, to Serigne Modou Lamine Diop Dagana. That's why we call him Serigne Modou Lamine Diop Dagana. You go by the river, you stay there, make it a checkpoint, and whoever understands the Quran can recite it beautifully, can cross the river. But if they don't know the Quran, they don't have to come and join me over there. So, and he settled in Dagana, that's why they call him Muhammad Lamine Diop Dagana. So when Serigne Touba was going there, of course, they were grown up, Serigne Modou Moustapha and Serigne Fallou. So he took them to Mauritania, but not Serigne Bara Mbacké we talking about today. But after he came back from Mauritania, now he went to Chain Jolof. That's another stop of Sheikh Al Khadim, where he spent about, 5 years in Chain Jolof, because they knew the Sheikh was different. They knew he had this power, he had this strength, this spiritual connection with Allah, with Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that this Sheikh can do miracles, because they had experience with Gabon. Like I was talking about this with Serigne Mustafa of Sheikh Gaynde Fatma, who was doing a tremendous work. My ziyarah to him on this day of his grandfather Serigne Bara, doing a beautiful work on searching for archives, because there's no archives you can find that talks about, that gives you any lights on Gabon. There's also falsification, today actually in Dakar is the Charoy is celebrated, and you know what happened in Charoy, and still today, even the president is asking for archives for Camp Charoy, when all these soldiers who went to save basically France, when they had this fight with the Germans. The Germans almost destroyed Europe. Destroyed France. And they had to come here and pick our brothers, our great grands, and took them to war, like they did on the first war, 1818 exactly. And then the second war that broke out on 1945 and 1939 to 1945. All our great grands were taken to that war. And remember, one of the son of Sheikh Ibrahim Fall also was taken. He passed away during that fight. One of the son of the great and the knowledgeable Sheikh Sidi Aj Malik, the man of Allah, also his son was taken during that time. He passed away during that war. So Senegal paid a huge price during that war of World War II. But guess what? When they came back, since they had knowledge of tactics of fights, they had tactics of attacks and everything they learned during that altercations. And the French were like, okay, if these guys, these Africans, because we're not Africans, they're not supposed to be smart, so when they come back and we leave them alone, they might have this contaminate their knowledge to people living around them. So we're not gonna let these Africans, they call them tirailleurs Senegalais, these snipers of Senegal. But they weren't just from Senegal. They were from Benin, they were from Ivory Coast, they were from Ghana, you name them. They were from all over Africa. And when they brought them in Charoy, and they asked them, well, one day you guys gonna get your money, your paycheck of what you've done and stuff like that. When they came, they gathered in the courtyard of this Camp Charoy, and guess what? They all were shot dead on the spot, all of them, and they were buried in the same single burial ground. But what happened is the French, they've been talking about like it's about 35 people who were killed, and something like that, and people putting a number out there that goes up to 300 soldiers of African people killed on that day of of Thiaroye. Well, that wasn't a topic, but I couldn't just hold it because of today celebration of Thiaroye Day. Salam to brother, inshallah, Bashir Jamai, inshallah, Faye, for what he's doing right now, and also to the Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko for fighting and also making sure that our children, making sure our citizens, making sure Africans take their life on their own hands. Because it's about time. We're living in the millennials. It's not colonization time or some kind of a infiltration time. It's about time that we use our brain. We take the opportunity what Africa has, what Senegal has. And if you do that, please don't forget the heritage of Serigne Touba. The heritage, the contributions, not only Serigne Touba, but Sidi Hadji Malick Sy, Baye Niasse, Seydina Limamou, all these figures of Africa, you can find a lot of them were luminaries who taught righteousness, who taught Islam, even taught some good characters from different African religions. But don't forget these siblings of Serigne Touba. Don't forget Sheikh Muhammad al-Mustafa, the first caliph. What a courageous person. What a courageous man. What a strong personality, Sheikh Muhammad al-Mustafa. But also don't forget Serigne Fallilou, my namesake, with a great heart, Serigne Fallou. Someone really who show how to be a good man, how to be a pleasant one, how to be someone that a real khidmah. No wonder he has this tight relationship with Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, that is Sheikh Muhammadul Fadal Mbacké. Don't forget to put that in the history books. Make sure our kids learn this type of stories. Never forget Sheikh Muhammadul Bashir, the knowledgeable, the father of the actual caliph, someone who wrote the story of Serigne Touba. His contribution is just amazing. How he loved knowledge. No wonder how caliph is kind of adhering to the search of knowledge. His father, cherished, gave a good place to the search of knowledge, Serigne Bassirou. But also, don't forget to the one we're talking about today, who's Serigne Bara, with his mystic, position that is known to everybody, and also many other sons of Serigne Touba. To name them, someone like Serigne Abdoulaye Borom Derby. If you guys, say, my brother Mabuba who was the agriculture minister, there's a lot you can learn from this great son of Serigne Touba, Serigne Abdoulaye Borom Derby. He started farmland here in Touba area, in many places. He's still, the heritage is with his family. But also Serigne Ibrahima Mbacké of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, and recently, of course, Sheikh Abdul Ahad Mbacké, the truthful one, the one who was really straightforward, ready to realize the promise of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, the hope Serigne Touba had when he was born in Jurbel. And there's an anecdote with Serigne Bara and Serigne Abdul Ahad, because when Serigne Bara, Serigne Abdul Ahad was born, Serigne Touba was saying so much beautiful, nice things about the newborn child, how much hope he had for this new child, and he prayed so much, gave people a lot of food to celebrate the day birth of Sheikh Abdul Ahad Mbacké. When Serigne Bara heard that, his next son, Sheikh Abdul Ahad of Serigne Bara, was named after Sheikh Abdul Ahad. I think there's a week difference of these two children. He was the first one who named his son to Sheikh Abdul Ahad Mbacké. But also Serigne Saliou, the legacy. I mean, the life of Serigne Saliou. How you can have a country and not learn the legacy of Serigne Saliou. Serigne Saliou, he lived 92 years, I believe. The life of, what do you call him again? The number, or the numerical number of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, 92 years. But the life of Serigne Saliou, this type of contribution, I heard when he was about to pass away, a week or he was like sick at the time, and time was close, and someone like Serigne Saliou Touré, Rahimullah of Thiès, one of his very good disciples, came to Serigne Saliou, and he picked up the hand of Serigne Saliou. Serigne Saliou picks up his hand and put him on his chest and said, Serigne Saliou Touré. Well, he said Saliou Touré, but I can say that. Serigne Saliou Touré, you know how old I am. He was like, he told him I'm about 90, 96. If you do the lunar difference, it's 92 on the solar or Gregorian one, but on the Hijr one, it's going to be over that, like 96. And he said, Alhamdulillah. But he said to Serigne Saliou Touré, but all these years, I gave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What a beautiful statement. All these years I lived, I gave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at his heritage. Look at his own children, Serigne Cheikh, Serigne Mustafa, all of them. All their mission is to work for Serigne Touba. Working for Serigne Touba, like Serigne Muntaha said, you work for Serigne Touba, it is ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You give your ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is like hidayah for Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba. This is the philosophy of the Mirror community of Sheikh Muntaha. So how you can just neglect the life of Serigne Saliou in the education system of our children? You can do that. How you can neglect, for instance, the life of Serigne Abdul Aziz Dabakh, someone who's like this clean, beautiful heart. His contribution, anytime there was a problem in the country, you're going to hear someone like Serigne Abdul Aziz of Tivaouane, a beautiful character who sparkled all over Senegal. How you can forget Baye Niass, someone who's known all over the world. His contribution to Islam is just unmatched and beautiful. And he's like, he had the verb, he had the mechanism, to call people to Islam. Because of course he's the fight of that was predicted by Sheikh Ahmed Tijani of Fez. So he did a beautiful work. So it is kind of getting out of my subject a little bit, but just to recall our new government, because there's a lot of hope in you guys. Kids fought a lot for this change. So if you do that, change the mechanism, change the system itself of education by incorporating these beautiful sons of Senegal who stood up for Islam, stood up for Serigne Touba, or stood up for different figures, or the principal figure was Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Sheikh Bara, also remember, like I said, he passed away very, very young at age 45. His first caliph was Sheikh Muhammadul Amin, Serigne Modou Bara Mbacké, Rahimullah. And Serigne Touba saw his first grandson by Serigne Bara. Serigne Modou Bara was the first grandson of Serigne Touba. So to tell you also the position of Serigne Bara. And Serigne Bara was very adamant to go around and help, poor people or people who had some difficulties, spiritual or temporal difficulties. He never stayed in one place. And one day people were coming, and Africa is, or the world, they went to Serigne Touba and complain about he travels a lot and stuff like that. One day Serigne Touba called Serigne Bara and asked him to write a mushaf in his house. And Serigne Bara wrote a mushaf in 15 days. 15 days he wrote the entire Quran for Serigne Touba. And Serigne Touba knew the connection of Serigne Bara. He even wrote a beautiful letter of satisfaction that Serigne Touba actually wrote for Serigne Bara. I have the letter right here when he told them, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. فَهَلَمْ بِأَنَّكَ يَا مُحَمَّدُ الْأَمِينَ سَتَنَالُ مَقَامًا يُحْبِتُكَ فِيهِ جَمِيعُ الْأَمْثَالِكَ. That you're going to get some maqam, some station that people are going to be envious about it. Envious about your maqam that Allah grant you. and wa kullu man kana mak, and everyone that is with you, all your talibes, jami'an, all of them, la yarawna illa ma yasuruhum, they won't see nothing but what pleases them. Wa yanfa'uhum fi dunya wal akhir, Allah will help them in this dunya and also in the next. Wa hum yadkhuluna al jannah bi khayri isab, they will go to Jannah without hisab. They won't see nothing in their baggages. And if Allah do the hisab to anyone, it's gonna be trouble. So good news for you guys, especially to my brother and friend Ali Irajan, to Sayyid Khadim Chelo, all these family, and also of the Sheikh, of course, of Guimbin, Sayyid Birahim Bake, of Guimbin, and all these Guimbin, the connection, inshallah. But if you just said the Caliph, inshallah, you mention all of them. But after also, Serigne Touba asked the Sheikh to write this particular, what do you call him again, Mushaf. He asked them to go settle in Sanusi, for instance, where the Sheikh Serigne Bara lived for a while, Sanusi. And after Sanusi, the Sheikh went to Mbacke Kadior, because remember Serigne Mbacke Kadior, who is the father of, who's the brother of the father of Serigne Touba. They like brothers. Serigne Mbacke Kadior, he's the one actually who was the legitimate owner of Mbacke Kadior. His sons actually are the mayors, if you call them, of that city of Mbacke Kadior. So when Serigne Bara went there, he settled in Mbacke Kadior, is exactly where he passed away, at the house of Serigne Abdul Aziz Bara Mbacke. Serigne Abdul Aziz, who is the second caliph of Serigne Bara himself. And when he passed away, he was taken to Touba area by Serigne Habibu, the Imam of Touba, and also Serigne Basiru. The funeral prayers were done by the same who did the funeral prayers for Sheikh Al Khadim, meaning Serigne Mbacke Bousso. Serigne Mbacke Bousso, he's the one who prayed for Serigne Bara in 1936. That's a little long time ago. And also after that, he settled certain villages, of course, by Serigne Bara, many areas in Senegal. He was one of the sons of Serigne Touba also, who did a lot of contributions in terms of his writing, legacy, memorabilia. I think he's the one who wrote more than any other sons of Serigne Touba. Lots of books he did, and many of them also the seminal work, Munawirul Bunyan, is a beautiful work done by Serigne Bara, and many others. You can mention Safinatul Abrar. It's a beautiful book by Sheikh Muhammadul Amin. Saadul Aqyar also, he's one of the part of the memorabilia of Serigne Bara. Saadatul Abrar also is one of them. Tibul Fuhad, also written by Sheikh Muhammadul Bara. Rumtu bi Ahlil Badrin, also part of the memorabilia of the Sheikh. Zahabul Ibris, also another book. Ya Rabbana Antal Mu'in, also he's one of the book of the Sheikh. Ya Fa'ilun Lima Yurid, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who gave him this unbelievable knowledge. If you recollect, Serigne Musaka, he said, you are a poet who didn't learn Arabic. He said, he's the one with the Sirul Mahsun, the secret of Sirul Mahsun that was given by Serigne Touba to Sheikh Muhammadul Amin Bara. Amdan li Rabbil Khafoor, also a shukr, a thanksgiving qasida written by Sheikh Muhammadul Amin Bara. Tayyab al-Dahara, also Bushraki ya Ardu Touba, also a very touching book of the Sheikh when Serigne Touba passed away, and and he was brought to Touba. People were like unbelievably deranged because of what happened, because someone of that caliber of Serigne Touba passed away. Of course, is going to shake the country and the city itself. So he was like giving a conversation with the Ardu Touba, which is the soil, the place of Touba. Bushraki ya Ardu Touba, have glad tidings, or the the soil of Touba, because today someone out of exception is being part of you today. So it's a beautiful book. The Sheikh Muhammad Lamin Bara wrote, and also of course, like I said, the seminal work book Munawirul Bunyan, also part of these books. What do you call him again? Serigne Bara wrote. If you just join us, by the way, Echo from Touba, I think we got a couple of minutes left before we end this program. A beautiful, a tribute, a contribution for Sheikh Muhammadul Amin, of Sheikh Muhammadul Amin Bara to society. What he did for this country is just amazing. His caliphs, the first one was again Serigne Modou Bara, like we said, Serigne Abdul Aziz Bara, who was like stayed as caliph for over, I think, 30 years or something. You know, there's a lot of name you'll see many Abdul Aziz Bara. Salam to my brother and Sheikh Abdul Aziz of Majalis, doing a huge work in terms of permeating the work of Serigne Touba through social media. He's Majalis, when you had Majalis doing things on internet, that was back in the days, but people didn't even have idea of this type of contribution. So he's like a really trailblazer in terms of any kind of network working for Sheikh Al Khadim Al Mustafa. But also the third caliph, I think we have to stop on the third caliph a little bit. Sheikh Sidi Al Mukhtar. Sheikh Sidi Al Mukhtar was just an unbelievable, I just call him a Muslim. He was a pure believer of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His contribution, he was the seventh son of Serigne Touba, of Sheikh Muhammad Lamin Bara. And he was also the seventh. They call him the caliph with the mystical sevens. The seven sons of Serigne Touba. The seven caliph of Serigne Touba. No, actually the seventh son of Serigne Bara, seven caliph of Serigne Touba. He's the one who completed 2 minarets to the mosque to make them 7. And when we were building Masalik al-Jinan, that unbelievable project, we had the mosque of Masalik in Dakar. He's the first one who gave first 7 billion CFA in that mosque. That 7, excuse me, that 7 number thing goes like all over the life of Sheikh Sidi Mokhtar. If I remember or recollect Sheikh Sidi Mokhtar, I will say his calmness is something that really boggles me. Even if on TV, when he was out there on a magal or he's communicating, if you first have this glance of the screen, you might think it's a picture, because how he stood like really zen. You won't think that this is like images of moving thing. How he settled himself, how he was, and also how he wanted to make our religion more focused on the essential, which is the development of self, and not like what happened before. People were like fighting each other in terms of I'm a Salafi, I'm a Sufi, I'm a Goofy, I'm a whatever. And even in turuqs, instead of taking opportunity of knowledge poured by your sheikh, you might go around and say, oh, my sheikh is better than this other sheikh. What is the benefit of that? I'm sorry. What is the benefit of having what benefits you is taking advantage what your sheikh brought. If you don't do that, the sheikh won't even look at you. Wal-iyaz billah. I have my book, by the way, called Printemps d'Allégresse. It is in French, by the way, for my English-speaking, followers. Printemps d'Allégresse, les feux d'artifice de l'esprit. Rabi al-Awwal, la célébration. Those who want to have this book, you can go to Majalis Library again. You have not just this book, but all my 6 books that Allah blessed me to write. And in this particular book, there's this poem I wrote about Cheikh Sidi Mokhtar. I called them. Il y avait un poème que j'avais écrit sur Sidi Mokhtar que j'ai appelé Des qualités en 7. Donc, si vous voulez mon livre, vous pouvez aller chez Majalis, la librairie Majalis. Vous l'avez là-bas. Et c'était mon 6e livre, je crois. Il y a les autres aussi qui sont disponibles dans ces librairies ou bien en face de Masalikul Jinan, Inch'Allah. Dans ce livre, maintenant, j'avais écrit un poème dédié à Serigne Bara et aussi son calife que je parlais tout à l'heure, Cheikh Sidi Mokhtar Mbacké. Je disais des qualités en 7. These are the qualities of the Sheikh I wrote in 7. Il est parti sur la pointe des pieds. Rabi al-Sani devant des mourides pétrifiés. La nouvelle est tombée une nuit de mercredi. Gouimbind, sanctifié à l'infini. Cheikh Sidil Mokhtar tira sa révérence. Quel parfait musulman. Like I said, he was a Muslim, point blank. Pour une belle souvenance, privilégiant l'excellence, un unificateur. Garantissant les orientations islamiques, un être pur. Bushra ya ard Touba. That's what, ce que scandait jadis Cheikh Al-Barra. C'était pour l'honorable serviteur. Aujourd'hui, c'est pour le digne successeur. Il a hérité du Siral Mason, décodé en chiffre 7. Lisez la sourate Maoun. 7e fils du lion du Kadior. 7e calife aussi du sauveur de Mbacké Kadior. Très conscient d'une position enviée, 7 minarets pour un signe justifié. L'exil au Gabon est d'une durée connue. Son khalifa, d'un même temps, pour une mission mystiquement conçue. C'est ça le poème que je voudrais lire pour une contribution pour le Magal de Mbacké Kadior, because I wish I'm gonna later on translate these poems to English for my followers to really have opportunity to see what we do on the other side. Il y a aussi un autre poème que je vais finir avec, c'était pour Cheikh Mohamedou Amin Bara. C'est notre contribution pour ce magal de Mbacké Kadior. Nous saluons le calife, comme on dit, Seigne Moustapha, but also leur calife, parce que Seigne Mohamedou Amin Bara et Cheikh Moustapha, ils sont de même père et de même mère. Cheikh Ahmadou Mbacké est actuellement le calife des deux vicinités, des deux familles. Donc je disais sur Mohamedou Lamine Serigne Bara, un mystique hors pair. Touba a embrassé une lumière. Juma del Oula au calendrier lunaire. C'est ce mois qu'on vit en ce moment. C'est le 28e du mois. C'était le 28e du mois. Un signe mystique pour affirmer une foi. Des débuts coïncident avec l'exil de Khadim Rassoul. Mam Thierno appelé pour éduquer des dignes fils. À Darou Manan, c'était une phase difficile. Un test d'Allah, le majestueux, le sublime. Plus tard, Mbacké Kadior pour sauver des êtres. Siral Masoun, quel cadeau du maître. Son amour au Cheikh était éminent, vérifié par des proses conséquentes. Munawirul Bunyan, Bushra Kiya Ardo Touba, composé à l'honneur de l'illustre serviteur d'Ibn Abdallah. sa force spirituelle était incapable. Son héritage du Bawal au Saloum, toujours palpable. Guy Mbind est un symbole incontestable, une lumière parfaite, incomparable. Cheikh Mohamedoul Amin Bara, sollicité auprès de la bienveillance, une longue vie pieuse, jumelée d'un agrément d'Allah. Allahumma amin. Thank you. This was our contribution today, Echo from Touba, for the Magal of Mbacké Kadior. May Allah help us witness many Magal of Mbacké Kadior. And then I think I wanted to talk about Cheikh Ibrahima Fall, because the meeting of Serigne Touba and Cheikh Ibrahima Fall was in that area of Mbacké Kadior, and also talk about Mbacké Kadior, but also Serigne, what do you call him again? Serigne Bara Mbaw, Serigne, I think it's Bara Mbaw, or I forgot his, first name though. Babacar Mbaw, who did a beautiful work over there, community service, helping the population of Mbacké Kadior to be self-reliant to the handiworks they're doing over there. It's going to be another program, because today we just wanted to give our contribution, inshallah, for Echo from Touba. If you guys visiting, please give me a call on Echo from Touba, my page, Facebook, or you can go and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and that will help this channel to grow, and then have all this knowledge we want to put in that will eventually benefit you. This is it, the end of Echo from Touba. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Jërëjëf di Serigne Touba, jaaraama Maam Cheikh Ibrahima Fall. Thank you so much for following.